afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. This afternoon we're going to be cooking with eel. So we're going to be starting off with an eel soup today. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop the pan onto the fire with a little bit of oil in it, just to get that, start that heating up. There we go. Just going to leave that on the fire just for a minute while that oil heats up. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our bread and we're going to pour in a glass of white wine. So what I want to do with this is we want to mash the bread down so it soaks up all that wine. Now this is for two reasons. One, it'll give it a really nice flavour, and also the bread will then thicken the soup to give it a nice thick soup. I'm just going to mash that down a bit. I'm just going to leave that to soak for a bit while I start on the eel. So we've got our eel here. Way under there. So there we go, quite a nice size one here. So first one, just take his head off first. So pop that in the bowl, don't need that bit. And they're going to cut it up into pieces. Oh. Okay, that will do. Right, so there we've got our eels already. So I'm going to pop these in the pan just to start browning them off a little bit. Okay, so wash my hands. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to chop an onion and add that to the bowl as well. Give those a bit of a stir. I'm going to leave that off the heat just for a minute while I chop up the onion. So this needs to be really quite finely chopped. And then we can add that to the pan as well. So the other ingredients we're going to add to this, we're going to add some spices, we're going to add some ginger and some salt and some pepper. And then we're going to add some vegetable stock. So right, let's get those onions in. And put that back down over the heat. Give them a little bit of a stir up there. We just want the onions just to start cooking before we put the stock in. Now the other thing we're going to add is some parsley. So we're just going to chop the parsley up. So we're using our little rounded knife here again that you've seen used before. Nicely fine chopped parsley. So it's beginning to cook nicely now in the pan there. We can get the smell of the eel. Okay, so that's our parsley, so we're going to pop that in as well now. And give it another stir in. Okay, that's cooking nicely. I'm just going to mash this bread down a little bit. We're not going to add this just yet, but we want that to be as mashed down as possible. So we use it to thicken the sauce or the soup. I might add a little bit of the stock into that as well, just to get that really mashed down. When you see the recipes in the original books, there's never any quantities stated, or very rarely. So a lot of it is trial and error, really. I do have the original, a printed copy of the original manuscript for this one, and there's no quantities given at all. So that's nice. Right, well, I'm going to add some stock to the pan now. Now this is just vegetable stock. You can use fish stock if you prefer. Okay. Give that a stir as well. Okay, I'm just going to see if we can get the fire going a little bit more heat under there. There we go. Okay, now the spices that we're going to add to our dish now are we're going to add some salt and some pepper, and we're going to add some ginger. So that's half a teaspoon of ginger. Now this, my little spoon here, whoops, my little spoon here is about half a teaspoon, so we're just going to sprinkle that over the top. Eels, yes, well, eels were, if you could catch them in the stream, you could eat the eels. So yes, they could have been. This dish is quite a high status dish, though. As I said before, all the dishes that I cook are high status. Would be for the Lord's table. And a little bit of pepper there as well. Give that a stir, and then I'm going to add it's cooking up nicely now. Fire's going nicely. Now I'm going to add some of our bread mixture. So I'm not going to put it all in one go because we don't want it to be too thick. So I'm just going to put a couple of spoonfuls in to start with. You can always add more stock if you find it's got a little bit too thick. So just stir that in there. Okay, that's quite a nice consistency there. Excuse me, smoke's getting my eye today. Okay, so we'll talk about if you could catch an eel. I'll show you the fish trap that we have here. Now this is obviously for larger fish, but an eel trap would be very similar to this. It would be slightly closer woven together. So the eels would swim in and then they couldn't get out again. And they'd be quite a bit longer than this as well. So I think we have some images that we can show you of some eel traps, some existing ones and some replica ones. So this is really just for bigger fish, but that would just be put in the stream, in the stream or the river, so the fish would swim downstream and then get caught, because fish cannot swim backwards because they drown. So so there you go. That's this is a modern version. So there you go. That's the. Oh, I've just learnt something. Salmon was quite a common dish for poorer people to have. There we go. There's the images of the fish traps there for you to see. Because if you just catch it in the river, then you could use it. You could eat it. And I've done the trout in the salt dough before, which you can find on the Facebook page if you wanted to have a look. If you could catch the trout, if you could catch the salmon in the river, then you could eat them, as long as you didn't get caught, because parts of the river belong to the Lord as well. Now that's not far off being cooked now, so we're nearly ready to serve that up. So I'm just going to find a nice bowl to put it into. Now this also would have been served on your bread trencher, so the top of the crust would have been taken off, leaving probably about an inch, I'd say, of the bottom of the crust, which was usually the burnt bit where it could come out of the oven, and that will be your stew, your soup would be poured into that. So, but I'm using a bowl today, so we're just going to dish some of this up now and see how it tastes. Okay, so, oh, hello, Lexi. Jamie can't be with us today. Nice to see you. So I'm going to get just a little spoon here and break some of this meat off the bone. Knife as well again. Okay, that seems to be cooked through. I'm just going to, I haven't got my tester here today, have I? So I'm just going to try a little bit of this. It certainly smells nice. That's actually a really nice taste. It's really nice. So there we go. There we have it. Your eel soup, and that would be served, as I say, on your bread trencher with some bread or some of the griddle breads to dip into to soak up all that lovely gravy there. Thank you for joining us today, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye for now.
Well done.